Leave it to it.
This is the very hat Danny was wearing. Chloe even was wearing. When Danny romantically got down on one knee and proposed to her. So only thought it fair he should be here to share your special day together. Without any further ado, Danny.
Thank you. I have to start off by thanking Andrew for his heartfelt and kind words. Both he and Helen, along with every single member of the McLaren family, have taken me to their hearts and bestowed upon me the honour and privilege of marrying their daughter, who I must say looks beautiful today. For that deepest honour and everything else over the last 3 years, I have to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I want to propose the first toast from my speech to Helen and Andrew. Helen and Andrew. Now, on behalf of myself and my beautiful new wife, I would like to thank you all for coming and sharing our day with us. Looking around this marquee today, seeing the faces of friends old and new humbles us both. It really is inspiring to see you all here. Some have travelled halfway around the world to bear witness to the most special of all days to Chloe and I. It means so much that you are here today to celebrate with us. In particular, we'd like to thank our parents for all the efforts in helping the day come together. And we'd like to thank Chloe's grandma Janice for the beautiful flowers you all saw in the church today. The lovely bridesmaids for helping Chloe get to this point with this guy. I mean, they deserve more than a toast, but to the bridesmaids. And finally of all, to my groomsmen. Best friends, really best friends. And to see you all here really means a lot. Means a hell of a lot. To the groomsmen. Now, there are two other people. On to my mum and dad. Without me even having to thank them in a speech today, they know just how much gratitude I have to show them for everything they've done to get me to this point. Simply put, I would not be standing in front of you today if it wasn't for them. They also know that there are no words I could write to explain the amount of love they've given and the sacrifices they've made, but I want them to know, if they didn't already, they're the two people who have made me into the man that Chloe wants to spend the rest of her life with. You've kind of spoiled it now, but I can't thank them enough, but I'm sure there's a marquee full of people that can thank them. Now on to my new wife, Chloe Jane Williams. Got to get used to that. Not only for her hard work in making today what it is, but agreeing to marry me in the first place. I know I'm just remembering. She stuck by me through an awful lot, and for that I'm eternally grateful. She's pushed me to follow my dreams, even if she's had to sacrifice to see them achieved. See them achieved. On our first date, I told her I had to leave England to study in the USA. A tough proposition for anybody, let alone somebody you've only just met. She didn't see a dead end. She saw a challenge that we had to overcome. For that, I have to thank her. While I was in the USA, I met some of the best friends anybody could ask for. Some of which have flown in especially for the occasion. You know who you are. I think they have to be thanked for keeping me together when I missed her, as well as sometimes keeping my mind on other things after we'd had a falling out. It happens. One valuable lesson I did take away from the US trip was that long distance arguments are much easier to get away from. She's made me a beautiful home. She's taught me more about the world than any university can, because in her words, her street smarts will always be infinitely more useful than my book smarts. Our future together is, to take a saying straight from somebody very important to me, definitely on the right road, going towards something truly special. She makes me laugh, she makes me cry, she's the calm in a storm, she's my soulmate, my best friend, my confidant and my wife. To Chloe, everybody. And finally, I have to hand you over to my best man. A man who has obviously been looking forward to this for a long time. He's been there in the middle of winter in the freezing cold, laughing and smiling as policemen walk past, as I sleep on the curb outside McDonald's waiting for it to open. Good. The same man, he told the police officers I was fine without a coat on. And possibly most famous of all to all of you, the man who shared that bottle of orange flavoured liqueur, which I'm going to try very hard to say, Cointreau, and stood by my side as we were both frog marched and carried from a house party. Staggered. But I'm sure he's got some nice things to say as well. So, the best of a great bunch, Arthur Ripley.
What Danny failed to mention there was we got outdrank by Helen. Helen sat there, sort of quite small girl, destroyed. Didn't lasted about 4 shots and we were on our backside. Just want to say thanks, Danny, for all the toasts. Very useful, helped me get through this. I can't believe it's taken all of this to finally get a drink off you. It's very kind, long overdue. I thought I knew Danny before this speech. Clearly I don't. He was telling me for years how good he was at cricket. He's got wheels, knocks people over, skittles them for fun, batting averages are through the roof. Found out last night, absolutely rubbish. Cannot hold a bat, cannot bowl a ball. Sam's got all the talent, fine, absolutely fine. I met Danny 10 years ago at Stockport Grammar Review, which are here today, over on this table here. He was sort of an awkward 13-year-old boy with long blue hair, actually. Blue hair and bushy eyebrows, it was. They've grown back now, because after one night at our house, Mum, who's sat over there, she decided to have a chop at Dan's hair. And in the words of Ethan, about my hair, but can be said about yours, looked like you had a fight with a lawnmower. And it did. And we also shaved your eyebrows off. And then you cried. But that's fine, that's okay, that was a few years ago, because you only had to go to America a couple of months afterwards. So, I'm sure you look great. Constantly surprised. Seriously though, those of you who know me and Dan will know that I take the mick out of him on a fairly regular basis, somewhat brutally. And I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to actually take the opportunity to tell you in front of you and your friends and all your family that you're a top bloke and you're an even better mate, and that Chloe's in very, very safe hands. And that's absolutely true. There was actually a time, 2 times actually, where I had a house party, 2 house parties, one after the other. Explicitly told not to have another one after the first one. Ignored that, fine. And the window got put through, the Georgian window got put through, the dining room door actually got locked from the inside. We're still not quite sure how that happened. And we had to punch that through. That was quite bad. And Mum's bed was covered in what I can only hope was Sandra Pay, fake tan. If it wasn't that, God knows what it was. And he stayed behind, and he was the only person, and he stayed behind and he tried to make it right with bin bags and different types of window filler and any number of other things, and he watched me get absolutely rollocked by my mum and dad. And he was the only person to stay behind, and I don't think that I'll ever forget that, because that was cowardice from you, to be honest. Left, ran off, everyone else, people being pushed away in wheelie bins, just me and Danny just there going, what's going on here? No idea. Yeah, it was a sensible option. But that's Danny. Stupid, but incredibly loyal, and a great friend. This is true, there's been 2 Dannys since I've met you. There's this Danny I knew at SGS, and there's a Danny I've known since you've met Chloe. the one at Stockport Grammar was pretty lazy, pretty bumbling, kind of sort of feckless, long hair, constantly sort of doing this with his fringe, getting it out of his hair, couldn't get it out of his hair, I'd just get it rid of it. And then there's the Danny now. When I come down in the morning to what will now be the Williams household, the Mountain Constable, he's there in his dressing gown, slippers, he's got the Guardian out, 2 dogs to feed, he's got short back and sides, and he doesn't have to do that with his fringe anymore. And he's gone from listening to Metallica to telling me how great Ariana Grande's new dance song is on Radio 1. He's turned from a boy into a man, and that's all down to Chloe's influence. If anyone can do that to you, Danny, that's the person you should be with for the rest of your life, and I'm very, very pleased for you. When I got asked to do this even, I felt I'd pulled the short straw. Tom's job seemed much more straightforward. You stood there, looked pretty, couple of rings. Well, pretty's a strong word, isn't it? But you know, he had a suit on, and he had a pretty easy job. But what I didn't realise was what a privilege and what an honour it was to be able to give you away, not giving you away, Christ, we're not that close, to be able to give you a speech that you hopefully will remember. I'm not bigging myself up. You'll remember for the rest of your life, at the day you will remember for the rest of your life, and I want to wish you both a lifetime of happiness. To Danny and Chloe.
A bride. I can't look. No.
Do that, you're being recorded.
Chloe, if you just stand up and say that out loud, that would be good. Let's get clear.